welcome to What's Up Ocala. I'm your host, Andrea Praber, and this is where we talk about all things real estate here in Ocala and nationwide and how it all affects you. We also talk about the local sales stats each week to help you keep informed. We also want to talk about the upcoming events that are happening all over town, those things that are taking place so that you can fully enjoy where you live. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Today's show is for all of the new real estate agents out there. If you're a real estate agent and you're looking for a real estate broker to work with, you might be wondering what kind of questions to ask during that interview. In Florida, at least, I noticed that most often you are not getting interviewed, you're more likely to be interviewing them. In this video, we're going to go over some essential questions that you should ask a real estate broker to help make an informed decision and maybe even save you from making some costly mistakes. So first of all, you want to make sure that the broker is licensed and has a really good reputation. I know that seems kind of silly, but it's important. It's very important. You can ask questions like, how long have you been in real estate business? What kind of transactions do you specialize in? You want to try and get a sense of their experience and their expertise and make sure that it lines up with what you're looking for. You can also verify that a real estate license is active on myfloridalicense.com. And honestly, that's a great source for anyone that's even hiring a real estate agent as well. You may also want to check on the Clerk of Court website to see if there are a lot of real estate agents or past clients that have sued the broker or brokerage. Now, of course, anyone can sue for any reason at any time. So you can probably see pretty quickly if there are a lot of lawsuits over several years, you can kind of see that there's a trend. And that may be best to avoid the situation, or if anything, it's at least going to open up some much needed dialogue. Once you've checked into all those legalities, you want to ask about the broker's company culture. You want to ask about the work environment. You can ask, what is the management style of the brokerage? How do you support your agents? You want to try and understand that company culture, the brokerage, and how they help their agents grow. Some brokerages are absolutely fantastic about helping newer agents, and they have a lot of systems in place to help them level up. Other brokerages are set up because they prefer experienced only agents. They are completely set up with that in mind. It's best to know right away where you'll fit in and to go in that direction. Along that same line, another important question to ask is about the technology and the tools that your broker provides. You can ask questions like, what kind of technology and marketing tools do you provide your agents? And how do you help your agents stay up to date with the latest industry trends? You want to try and see if the brokerage is investing in those tools and those latest technologies to help their agents succeed. That is really important. You may also want to check to see if you are going to be working in the office at all or if you're going to be virtual. You might also want to ask about the commission splits and fees that the brokerage charges. You can ask questions like, what is the commission split for agents? What is the cap? And what kind of fees can an agent expect to pay? Now, you want to understand the financial aspects of working with the brokerage. You want to make sure that they provide in writing exactly what fees you will be responsible for, including the transaction fees that are often passed on to your customers. In some cases, well, quite frankly, in a lot of cases, if your customer doesn't pay that fee, you will be required to do so. So that's something to definitely find out right away. What is the fee? Who's required to pay, and how much is it? Please do not make your first, or even worse, your only question about money and what you're going to make. While making a living is understandably important, if that's the only thing that you care about, or that's how it seems during the interview, I can pretty much guarantee that you're only going to find brokerages that only care about making a dime and have no qualms about leaving you behind. That goes right into the next question about how the broker will oversee your actions and help keep you out of trouble. Okay, this is the most important part. There are a lot of gray areas in real estate, and I often tell my agents when they're facing an ethical dilemma, because it is definitely a when, not an if, head towards the light. That's right. But a lot of times your broker may not even be around to give you those types of pearls of wisdom. So if you get into a problem, are they going to be by your side beforehand, during, and after, or are they going to be nowhere to be found? How is that even possible? Well, Florida real estate is actually set up as an apprenticeship situation. Kind of like the blacksmiths back in the day when, a master blacksmith would take on an eager apprentice to learn the trade so that they could learn from somebody with experience. Well, our laws require that all licensees work under the supervision of a broker for a minimum of 2 years. So what's changed? Well, many licensees never opt to become brokers. They just stay apprentices, which is totally fine. But it's a lot of them. In fact, only 11% of us in Florida are crazy enough to set up shop and become a broker of record. So how has this affected things? Well, with so many licensees practicing real estate for decades, brokers have figured out that with that scenario, they don't really need to watch over them much or dole out advice. So for better or for worse, they figured out that with a mass quantity of experienced licensees at their brokerage, and we're talking like not just hundreds, but sometimes even thousands, they can make a small amount of money on each and every one of them, but spend very little time teaching or supervising that mass quantity of licensees, and they can make a lot more money for their very little efforts. So how does that affect you? Well, if you're a newly licensed agent, you may want to ask some additional questions, such as, are you the manager or are you the broker of record for this brokerage? Sometimes you may think you're talking to the broker and you're not. Do you know who the broker is? Have you ever met the broker? Does the broker know your name? Well, I know you may think that these questions are kind of odd. They are the reality that we see every single day. It used to be that when I have an issue that pops up, and again, it's when, not if, if there's an issue that pops up with another licensee, I can call a more experienced broker, their broker of record, and we can kind of hash it out with all of the emotions out of the way, and we can kind of work it out with some good communication. We can put into place a plan to best help the customer. Now, this is not the case so much anymore. Now, if there's an issue, I probably won't be able to find the broker at all. And if I do find the broker, they have hundreds or even thousands of agents, and they don't want to be bothered with it. Or sometimes they don't even want to know about the issue because then they'll be held liable. I can't tell you how many times the broker actually lives in another state and has never even visited the office that their name is in front of. It's crazy. If you've been in the business for decades, this actually may appeal to you, and I can understand that. But you might, with that, you might feel that, you can be left alone to do your job. But I'm talking today to the newly licensed. They may not even be aware of what they're walking into. So I think it's a good idea for them to ask those questions. Now, another great idea is for you to ask for references from other agents who've worked with a brokerage. So you can actually ask them straight out when you're doing the interview, can you provide me with references from other agents who've worked with your brokerage currently and in the past? Because that's going to give you a sense of the experiences of those other agents who've worked hand in hand with the broker. If the broker or manager or whoever you're interviewing with is leery of providing info for past licensees, that's a big red flag. That may mean that they don't just burn a bridge when the licensee leaves, they blow it up, like it is obliterated. So finding agents that worked there before and have moved on amicably shows that you'll most likely have the same situation when you leave. Overall, these are some of the essential questions that you need to ask a real estate broker as a real estate agent. Hopefully this show has helped you. If you have any questions, of course you can reach out and ask. Even if you never interview with us, that's okay. We're very happy to help. There's a lot of situations out there, especially with those that are just getting started in the world of real estate, and we hope that you can steer clear of some of those more difficult situations. In fact, I hope you have an awesome and rewarding career no matter where you land. Real estate is one of the only careers I've ever known that plays fair. If you just make sure and take care of your customers and do your absolute best, this career is fair. It will do the same for you. All right. We're going to take a real quick break, and when we come back, we're going to check out the real estate stats for this week. So let's go ahead and be right back after this commercial break. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today's guest is Tristan Baker. Tristan, why don't you tell everyone who you are and how they can get in touch with you?
So I am a property manager at Great Expectations Realty. You can reach me several ways, but probably the easiest is phone number at 423-693-8085, as well as my email, bakerpm.ger@gmail.com.
Awesome. Okay, so what is it exactly that you specialize in?
So I obviously do property management. I do long-term leases, but I have recently started dabbling into the short-term rentals, and really finding my way around that and really finding that I enjoy it.
Wow, that's awesome. I mean, you've got several at this point that are going at any given time, and you're just flying through. You seem to really be enjoying it a lot. So, now for me, I keep referring them to Airbnb or VRBOs or whatever. I keep catching myself because they're really short-term rentals. And I know we're kind of going away from the Airbnbs like so many. What's the situation with that? Why are so many kind of leaning away from that right now?
I think a lot of it is obviously the Airbnb and VRBO fees that come with on both sides, on the owner side as well as the rental side. Unnecessary fees that make it make it a lot higher.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good way of saying. I mean, it just goes to, you would think it was just going to be, a fee that the owner pays for using the service, and then it just kind of moves on. But they actually get like percentages and then fees on top of fees and on top of fees, and it just makes the whole thing a lot more expensive for the customer, both the person staying there and also the person that's advertising it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So. Yeah, I've definitely seen a lot of people that are complaining with the service and everything with them and going away from that. But I mean, there's the reason it's so popular with Airbnb and VRBO is because it's so easily accessible online. So how are you going to still advertise it instead of through those online services? Are you worried about not having people come in? Or
So we've been working really hard on our website on trying to get all of our properties listed, as well as, Facebook and different social media avenues that way. So there's always ways to get a hold of us and to see what we do have available.
Okay. Now, are these more like short-term rentals? That kind of leaves it open to anything. That's basically in Florida, it's under 6 months. Anything under 6 months is considered a vacation rental, right?
Yes.
So is this something that you're doing like 3 months, 2 months, a month, 2 days? Like what's the norm?
All of the above.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I do have, especially 2 properties that are catered more towards probably vacation rentals. There's a lot more to do, that come with the property, such as like paddle boards and kayaks. So
Oh, wow.
obviously vacation. But we will also go ahead and rent it out for a month or 2 months if you're looking to transition to Ocala or Denellen and you don't have your house yet and you kind of want to get to know the area. Feel free to reach out. We have something available that you can stay for a month or 2 until you find your forever home.
That's awesome. Yeah, I have definitely seen a lot of people that are moving down. They have their home sold in another state or another area, and they've got the cash from that, so they're ready to go, but then the house that they're building isn't done yet.
Yes.
And they're just kind of in between. So, and they don't know how long they're going to be in between, which is, that's scary.
That is scary.
That is very scary.
That is
I don't know.
scary.
And some of them have like pets and stuff like that. So how are you doing with the pets?
We do have, we're actually split right down the middle, 2 that do accept pets and 2 that don't. So we do have availability if you want to bring your babies with you.
That's awesome. So this is something that you've been working on, you know, the long-term rentals, the short-term rentals, and getting all of your systems and processes in place. But you have a side project that's pretty exciting. Do you want to mention that today, or am I letting the cat out of the bag?
No, we can talk about it briefly.
Okay,
My husband and I did foster care before we moved to Florida. We came from Tennessee, and so it's very near and dear to our heart. We weren't sure how we were going to get involved coming into Florida, into the foster care system, but we have actually, when we were in Tennessee, we helped open up an Isaiah house. And what it is it is a home where when children are taken from their home, the worst day of their life, normally what happens is they're taken back to the DCS office until they can find a foster family.
Oh, that's awful. Yeah.
And sometimes that takes a minute, a day, 2 days, and so they're left there in that DCS office. So what the Isaiah House is we have volunteers that come in, and we have a house that's absolutely catered to kids. We have food and toys and games, and they can just come and kind of decompress while everybody else figures out the rest of their life. And they don't have to worry about what's going on for that minute.
Yeah, I can't even imagine being a child and being so confused and, you know, just emotionally just overwrought, and then having no place to sleep that night, not sure what's going on with you, and having to like sleep on the floor or in an office as people go through paperwork trying to decide your fate. I mean, that's got to be so incredibly uncomfortable.
Oh, absolutely.
And I know we do have a wonderful place. Actually, I did a 5K this morning for Kimberly's Center, and that's more for those that are currently having to meet with police and stuff like that. It's more of an abuse situation. It's not necessarily for foster care. So this isn't really that. This is more, Isaiah's house is more for a kind of an in-between then.
It is.
So
yeah, focusing on that child in the moment with the worst day of their life, just making a little bit better so that they're not stressed about what's going on around them.
That's got to be so wonderful. I mean, probably so much better than sitting in an office.
Oh,
and,
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I don't know. I've never been to a DC office inside and like, you know, trying to.
Only imagine.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
Yes.
not going to be too much different from offices that I've worked in before. And yeah, that's no place for a kid to be just kind of forgotten over in a corner. That's got to be just awful. So that is really awesome. It's really exciting. What do you think as far as like the timeline? Because you guys are definitely like all in on it. That's awesome.
We have been approved, so it's just kind of following the steps and getting. I honestly, from when we helped, it's a little bit more different now from when we helped bring it to Tennessee, but I'm hoping that we will be up and going within the next year.
That is awesome.
That might be a little like, but hopefully.
That's awesome. I can't even imagine stuff, what you have to do in order, all the hoops you have to jump through in order to get something like that set up. Because it's basically a business, but it's also a home. It's also, that's a lot. Of course, me being a realtor, I'm instantly thinking, oh my goodness, what would the zoning look like? But it's so bad. It's such a small detail, but it's still, that's the kind of paperwork that's just gonna just bury you. So that's awesome. Well, we can't wait to see how that works out, and hopefully we'll all be able to help out with that as we go through. But it'll be a really great thing, I think, for our community. So we thank you very much for that and what you're doing for our kids here in Marion County.
Oh, it is our pleasure. We're happy to bring it.
That's awesome. All right. Well, let's go ahead and take a real quick break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about the stats here in Marion County and all of the home sales that have been going on this week, and also fun things to do in our area. Be right back. All right. Welcome back. Let's go ahead and jump right into the real estate stats for this week here in Marion County, Florida. Currently, there are 2,451 residential homes available and ready to purchase. New listings this week, we had 253. Price increases 38, price decreases 287. So we're definitely seeing some uptake in the prices going on. Back on the market, we had 70, sold 270, expired 20, pending 312, and most interesting, canceled 46. So there are 46 listings that just are done. National and average interest rate for a 30-year fixed is 7.21%, last we checked, and for a 15-year is 6.26%. All right, so those are the stats for this week, and now we're going to get into some fun stuff that you can do here in Marion County, Florida, maybe surrounding areas too, just depends. All right, we have today the Macon Bacon Festival over at Heritage Park. It's free parking, free admission. Go out and check it out. Should be lots of fun. I have definitely done it before. It was fantastic, and the food is amazing. So there's a lot of different food vendors, all of it, of course, surrounding around bacon. So if you are a fan of the bacon, this is your festival. It is your time to shine. So get on out there and check it out. That's at Heritage Park. We also have the Race Against Child Abuse, and that was actually that was this morning. So maybe not. I think you missed that one, but it was a fantastic 5K that was for Kimberly Center, and it was over at Kalesa. So that was this morning's 5K. Now keep in mind we are doing one 5K per month for the entire year of 2023. So just a heads up, if you want to check out what our next race will be, then let us know. You can find me on Facebook, and you can check out all of the really cool stuff that we're doing. There's some bubble runs, there's some mud runs, there's all sorts of interesting 5Ks you can participate in. Most of them do not mind that I am more of a walker than a runner, but it's great to participate. And my daughter, she has actually been participating with me, so it's been a very fun and bonding experience for both of us to go out there and sweat to the 5K. So check out some 5Ks around. There's also some really great running / jogging / walking groups on Facebook here in Ocala. So you can definitely join those as well and, get up off the couch. It's great. So, all right, there is tomorrow the Young Entrepreneurship Market. That is from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m., and that's at the Ocala Downtown Market. This is going to be a great opportunity for our young entrepreneurs to strut their stuff and show what they've been up to. And we definitely want to support those young people in our community that are trying to do things differently, trying to do things that are going to make them young business people. And it's amazing some of the stuff that they can come up with. So definitely check that out. That is again at Ocala Downtown Market from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. tomorrow. And last but not least, we have also tomorrow the Amber Brook Farms Blueberry Festival. There are still blueberries out there if you are doing some U-Pick. We went last week to Abshire Farms, and there were so many blueberries. It was absolutely insane. We're having a really good blueberry season. But if you want to check out the Blueberry Festival, that is also going to be tomorrow. It's from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So definitely check that out as well. All right, I think that is pretty much it for us. I don't know if you got to go to Tuscaloosa Park last weekend for the Earth Fest. It had like tree giveaways and a youth fishing derby and rock wall climbing, live butterfly feeding, tree climbing. I mean, just so much stuff, so much stuff. So it was really amazing situation over there. Tuscaloosa Park is such a cool park. To have all those really great activities and festivals and stuff like that. So if you were not able to go last week to that, that's totally understandable. Things come up, things happen, don't worry. They will be doing it again next year. So you may not have missed your opportunity altogether. Just wait for next April. So I hope that you are going to have lots of fun this weekend here in Ocala. Hopefully you'll join us at the next 5K we have going on. or maybe stopping in at one of our monthly home buyer workshops where we go over all of the steps to home ownership. Things like, how to work on your credit, how to do a financial plan, how to do budgeting, a lot of information, a lot of free education with it. We just want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to purchase their own home at some point in their life, to really change their dynamic of their family and have that stability. It's just so important. I can't stress how important that is. So if you are at all able to come to our next one, that will be in May. So we have an online Evite, or you can go ahead and register as well. Check out our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Great Expectations Realty for all the details. You can go ahead and RSVP again, either for the online or for the in-person. In-person, you get to enjoy snacks. Online, you get to be in your pajamas. So, win-win either way. At least you'll get the information. All right, I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Thank you so much for joining me, and we will catch you again next week. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Shake it up, stop when the clock hits 13.